Look at all that energy.
Was that just Elton John? Was
Yeah,
that the
that was
Bitches
the
Back?
Bitches Back, yeah.
Bitches Back?
That was actually the Tina Turner cover version.
Yes.
Also
Tina,
good.
the
Also
bitch is
good.
back.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
You would never guess your name is Charisma.
She's vamping.
Oh,
So,
before we start, can I ask
Absolutely,
a
please.
favor? Is that okay, Charisma, if I do this again?
Oh, I'm
Do
used
it
to
all the time.
yeah.
Okay, so guys, I like to take a little video of anyone that's cosplaying from any show that I've been on, and then I like to put that on social media as a little movie. But I'd like to give everyone a big round of applause at the end of the little video, which is where you guys come in. If I could ask a favor, is it cool? You can scream? Yeah, okay, so good. So when I say action, just raise your hands and scream like your team won the cup of whatever they were playing for. Okay, cool.
Okay, make it good.
Wait, I got
Cut. All right, you're all famous. Okay, I'm all yours.
That's really good. Can we try it one more time, though? But feel it more inside.
once more with feeling, yes. So, Charisma, I want to ask you, because you have a new podcast, The Bitch is Back.
Yes.
And what, now it seems it's a prerequisite for every actor to have their own podcast.
Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. But what's so interesting, I think, about your podcast is you've never actually seen the episode. So you're doing a rewatch,
It's
which
a
is
first
not
watch.
a rewatch.
Right. It's
What
a
is-
first watch.
What has that been like? And what is
my
exciting
gosh.
about it for you?
Well, I get it. I get why the show is so resonant now. Like I feel like I'm able to relate to the fans on a whole new level now.
awesome.
And I love when you guys come by and then you'll bring up something about an episode and I'm like, oh, and then this, and then that. Like I just feel like there's a whole new bond that I get to have with you all as a result of it. But I think for me, when it switched, like it really clicked with me, like, oh, this is why the show, this is the moment that the show became a hit, was episode 7, season 1, Angel. I was like, oh, I get it. That's it. I laughed. I cried. I was rooting for them. Impossible love for bit Shakespearean themes, all the things, and monsters and God. Like, guys, this show is so good.
Oh, that's so great. So many of the people we interview in things like these, they haven't watched the things that they're on, and they don't understand how the fans feel. And that's such a great thing that you're taking that journey with them, delayed.
Yeah.
But it's really great, because I often wish that these people that we talk to would understand what we enjoy about this thing that they've done, and I think that's really great. I like that.
It's fun.
Yeah, forgive them, by the way, for not doing that.
Oh, of
because
course.
The problem is that we, oftentimes, if you're part of making the project, you can see where the strings on the puppet are, so
Of
to
course.
speak. And so
Yes.
you can't fool yourself, and so it always looks cheesy, because there's no illusion that
Once you've seen the man behind the curtain,
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
work,
I mean,
yeah.
it could be a wonderful show, but you know that it's not real, so it doesn't really, you don't really buy it in the same way.
Of course.
And so it can be painful. Like Fred Astaire could never watch himself dance,
Right.
because he knew that there were imperfections in there. It drove him crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that though. I feel like when I'm watching it, I'm not wrapped up in the me of it, or the performance of me. Especially in those early seasons or early episodes, I just felt like I wasn't as much a part of the Scoobies yet, so I haven't had that cringy moment yet. But I feel like it helps being 25 years later.
Yeah, like you
know,
have
like
distance
I'm not as
now.
critical about, but I do have moments where I'm watching my fellow actor. So I'm looking at it through the lens of both an actor, and I'm thinking about, as a director, like there was a scene in The Pack, and they did a 50-50 shot of Xander telling Willow this terrible news that he's like, he's not taking those classes anymore because he doesn't want to look at her pasty white face anymore. And I felt like that shot, as an actor, you know, I'm like, why were we not on Allison's face for that reaction? You know, I just felt like, sure, in the 50-50 shot, getting him tell her, so we have an orientation of the scene, but why aren't we in her eyes? Because she has those big, expressive eyes. And I just remember thinking when I was doing the podcast, these are the observations that I get to make on the podcast and just go, gosh, I feel like that's a missed opportunity. So I'm genuinely looking at it, not from like necessarily an actor's point of view, but like oh, I wonder how that cost a lot. That shot was expensive. Oh, that's 5 people, 5 different shots. We were there in that scene in the library with those 8 people all day.
Oh my
all
God!
Day.
You have no idea what pain is. In season 7,
I do.
You do. I know.
I do.
You've lived a life.
Please don't.
But you don't know this pain. This is shooting with all of the potentials. They were all wonderful, but there would be like
How many were there?
12 people per scene, and they had to get coverage on all 12
Oh,
people.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Wow, we're gonna be here all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is painful.
Let's go in for singles on everyone. And it's
You
like,
have to.
okay, well,
You
we'll
have
be
to.
here till Saturday. Great.
That's
Correct. Well,
why
that
it
was the
20
case.
hours a day on Buffy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder, is there that kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome? Because you suddenly remember what it was like to be on that set, and what a lot of people don't remember, because now the show is sort of enshrined in amber as one of the greatest television shows of all time. But at the time, it was a WB show. Michigan J. Frog was the mascot. It was on Super 16. It was super cheap. No one had any expectations. It was based on all due respect, terrible movie.
On Super 16, though. Like, it could have been on Super 8.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah. So is it like really surprised? I mean, that it's as good as it is, and at the same time, is it like looking at a yearbook for you when you go back and like, God, it's like, I remember being in high school. It's like so long ago when you talk about it and bring back all these memories. And it's also like Rashomon, because you guys are talking a lot on these podcasts or having guests, and their memories may be completely different than the memories you have.
Well, just like a family, right? You have a sister and a brother and a parent, or whatever, hypothetically. You have 2 kids having the same experience, but taking away completely different experiences. Right. Like, I remember my first husband, there were 2 girls and him, and their version of their household was very different than his version of the household. So that's not uncommon for that to happen, I think. But what do you think, James, about what are you saying?
What were you saying?
You think I remember? Darren, what was I saying? No, actually, James, I want to ask you because, we talked about Charisma's podcast, and you can follow it on Patreon. It's great. My wife follows it. That's a little plug for the, and she loves it. So I want to ask you, before we get to your podcast, you were just on Juliet Landau's podcast, Revamped, and I was telling you backstage that I wanted to listen to it for a few minutes to see if I could, was anything interesting that we hadn't talked about in the past. And I ended up listening to the whole 2-hour thing because it was so fascinating. And what I love about the podcast for all of you is how raw it is. It's not like watching EPKs from when you were making the show. This is a wonderful show. Josh is a genius. I love being on the show. It's like so unfiltered, and finally you can really tell the stories maybe that you never were comfortable telling, and you're not, and I just wonder if that's sort of liberating for you, and you're so articulate in describing your experience, and I'm amazed when you talk about that first audition, you paint a picture as though it's happened yesterday.
Yeah. That's the thing about Juliet. I love her to death, and she knows that. She knows I'll do anything for her. She interviewed me for 5 hours. I was like, after 5 hours, I was like, Juliet, I've got to eat lunch, man. I've got to go. And then she let me go. But yeah, so she got around to a lot of stuff that I normally haven't talked about. There were actually, this doesn't happen that often, but there were actually questions I was like, I don't want to go into that one, Yeah, she was trying to get as deep as I would let her. Yeah, and I, can we say that? I let her get pretty deep. How many kids are in the audience? Right? A few, probably. Yeah. So, I mean, like the corporations aren't breathing down our necks anymore, so we can kind of open up a little bit. And it was all good, so it's easy to talk about. There's not stuff that we have to be careful of that much, but yeah.
But I think it's sort of liberating. You finally get your revenge on Juilliard. You get to,
Oh, yeah.
all these things. Charisma, you were on Katie Sackhoff's podcast too, and I thought, do you ever feel like you're being too honest, or like, is there a point where you like want to hold back, or is it nice to feel that free and be, and tell these stories? And is the intimacy of the podcast, it's different because you're not generally, there's no camera in your face, and it's like talking to a friend, and you're more free than you would be maybe under other circumstances doing an interview.
I'm a chatty Cathy, and I tend to overspeak for sure. And we shot that over, we had it was over 2 hours long. And after the first, so I'm curious about so much, like filmmaking, raising a family, talking about our kids, talking about menopause, talking about dating, like we covered like all these things, including the work, and we talked about from a feminist point of view as a woman, at our age, and like how easy or hard it is to get hired, and the body issues that come up, which come up a lot in my podcast. I pick up on all these different times where even the men are being subjugated to these body image expectations, and we covered all of that. So but we went deep into politics, and that is, at the end of it, I thought, Katie, I felt too comfortable, and I just am not really thinking I want to go there about all that. And so she said, no problem, we'll schedule another interview. So I didn't listen back, but I know myself. I know what I said. And here's the thing. I think it, I say it. It's my way. It's Cordelia. I find that as a young person in my 20s, starting off in this industry, I was new, and I was very eager to please. I was very apologetic. I didn't own my space. I didn't, come into that until later. And it's all Cordelia's fault. It's the way she was written. And how could I not then embody those characteristics after playing her for 10 years? How could that not seep in? I just don't think that's humanly possible, and I'm so grateful that I am who I am today as a result of playing Cordelia, because I feel like I live in my own skin. I'm authentic. I'm not going to people please. I had a girlfriend say in front of me recently that she calls me when she wants the truth. She'll call our other friend when she wants to be coddled. And I thought, what a compliment. It is what it is. So yes, there are moments where you feel like you're maybe too comfortable because the podcast format feels like you're talking to a friend. And then the genius of it is you can say to that friend, hey, if you're reflecting over this over the next couple of days and there's anything you don't want in it, let us know. And Katie acquiesced. She was very accommodating, and I would be, and I'm sure anybody would be.
Now, James, you're not off the hook because you also have a podcast.
What? Do you?
Actor?
Wait, you do?
Yeah.
I genuinely did not know that.
Yeah.
Is he joking?
For like 3 years.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Well, we don't really have guests. It's just me and this guy named Mark
Oh, Mark.
Devine, who is
Wait.
the funniest person I've ever met in my life. And we're just doing, it's called...
Is this Vidiot's?
No, that was the video thing we did. This is a new thing with Mark. This is called Schmachters. And it's asking the question, are all Hollywood actors spoiled, vapid, and vain with nothing going on in their heads?
I really dislike how you tear us down like this.
Or do they actually have anything interesting to say? And we find out that both are kind of true. And so we take questions from the audience. They call in or leave us voicemails, and we talk about a wide range of things from our experience in Hollywood to subatomic particle physics, whether or not we're ever going to get to Mars, like a wide range of things. Yeah, like I was just like the last episode we were doing there was like, what do you think is going to be life in the future? I was like, oh, we'll be eating grubs. Mark's like, grubs? I'm like, yeah, like larvae. but it's going to be fine. It tastes good, a little garlic, a little butter, but we're not going to have enough resources to raise beef and chicken and lamb and all of that stuff. It's just too much grain. We're not going to be able to afford that. So we're going to be eating bugs. But don't worry, they're going to render it down to a protein powder, and they're going to print it out into whatever you want, chicken McNuggets or whatever. You're not going to notice, but...
Like a tab.
Yeah.
Tabs of food?
Well, no. It'll be the same as the stuff now. I mean, is it really chicken in a chicken McNugget? Do we even know? We don't. It could be larvae.
It'll be Soylent Tan.
Seriously. We won't even notice. It's going to be fine.
Charisma, I don't want to interrupt, but are you calling in a question to the show? You calling a question into? Because he can answer. He's right here.
Totally answer that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you
never talk about it. You never talk about schmachters on stage with me. I've never heard this news.
Didn't come up.
And look at you guys.
Terrible.
I adore Mark.
Oh my God.
I adore him.
The problem with Mark, though, is Mark is very funny, but he's funny like Lenny Bruce, which
But
is
I
to
love
say
Lenny
he could
Bruce.
get me arrested, or at least canceled. So we have to cut out so much of what he says. The producer and I are just like, we're going to let Mark just go. Just don't ever tell him don't say that. Just let him go, because what's left is gold. But half of it has to go out. I'm like, no.
That's how we deal with our Mark, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to ask you, because we're going to get to Buffy. I know you want to get to Buffy, but you get asked about Buffy all the time. What's the project you've done that you aren't asked about, that you're so proud of, that you love doing, that people don't talk about? I mean, I know for Charisma, I would love to talk to you about Veronica Mars. I thought that you were wonderful on that show, and I'd love to know what Rob Thomas was like. It was a very different experience than Buffy.
Now?
Well,
Right now?
are you looking
Wait,
it
I
up on
don't-
IMDb to see what it was about, or?
No, about Veronica Mars?
Yeah.
Looking at Veronica Mars, was I?
No, that's not what I'm doing.
Stand by, everybody.
So Veronica Mars was amazing. What specifically about Rob? So I found that Rob Thomas, his writing was just so on par with Joss. I felt like they were aligned. It's very rare to find that quality of writing. You can pivot on a dime from this emotion to the next emotion, or you're cracking a joke every 30 seconds, and the self-deprecation, but it's witty and smart and it's good. And the Rob Thomas of it all was very similar. I felt like it was an ease into that show just because of the vernacular and the way that he had a unique way of speaking as well. And it was hard to be naked a lot with that actor, Jason Doherty, I think is his name, or Doring. Help me, am I right?
Jason Doring, yeah.
Doring, fantastic actor. One of the things that I was impressed with, less about Rob, because what's funny is that his wife's best friend was my nanny. And I think that's why I got the job. And I guess I was a good employer. And also, I remember Joel Silver, was the producer of the head of it. And my manager, John Carabino, got a call about this, and he said to me that they said, "But is she sexy?" And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just did Playboy. Have you sent him over the Playboy? Let him judge for himself. I don't know what to say. How do I answer that question? It's such a weird question. Have you ever been asked, well, has your agent been asked, but is he sexy? Oh my God. So that was interesting. Apparently I was, and I got the job.
My first agent.
I was naked a lot.
My first agent looks at me. I'm fresh to town, and she's like, "I don't know if you're good looking enough for television." And I said, okay, maybe not, but neither is Michael Caine. There's a thing called acting, and I know how to do that. So maybe don't
Was
sell
Michael
me.
Caine on TV?
He must have been at some point, some rerun of some. I don't know, but there's plenty of actors that are that's just not just pretty. And I was just I didn't fight her on whether she thought I was attractive or not. I was like, I can make you money, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good at my job.
And the same question for you, James. I mean, we talked about Runaways in the past, something you're very proud of that doesn't get some of the love that it deserves. Is there a project when you look back at, you say, this is something I'm really proud of that People never ask me about this.
Yeah, there was a TV movie that was co-produced by the Discovery Channel and BBC called Moonshot, which was all about the Apollo 11 moon landing, and I got to play Buzz Aldrin. And the director explained to us out of the gates that the reason he was doing it is that it bothered him whenever you see an Apollo mission, the capsule is just massive. It's just big, spacious, it looks like Star Trek. And he said the reason for that is that they have to fit the camera in there. They have to fit the lights in there. But it really bothers the Apollo astronauts because it looks like such an easy trip. When in fact, it was very uncomfortable. It was very dangerous.
And smaller than this couch.
And yeah. And he said, look, we have digital cameras now that are as big as sometimes as chapstick or a lipstick thing. And so we're going to be able to fit cameras into an actual capsule that's the same size. So that's why we're doing it. Get ready for a really massively hard shoot. And it was. But the other actors were amazing. And when Buzz saw it, I got the role. I was in England and I was on a rock tour, and I came into the audition really hungover, like so because it's a rock tour and that happens. So, where you're still kind of half drunk, you know. And I walk in there and I go, hey man, you want to talk about subatomic particle physics? I was just reading a book, and they're just like, we just did a documentary about subatomic particle physics, but what do you want to say? And I just launched into how, I don't even go back in the 30s, and they tried to image the atom, and they couldn't. They found that the electron going around the nucleus was everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Right.
And quantum theory was born at that, well, not born, but never mind.
Discovered, yes.
And I just go into it, and they're just like, you are Buzz Aldrin. Because Buzz was a total drinker. And he was also known as the professor. Like, he helped with the mathematics of rendezvous. So, like for fuel consumption reasons, they couldn't land the entire craft on the surface of the moon. They had to split it in two just to save fuel. So the LEM went down and the command module stood up. It was no problem to disconnect and go down to the surface. But coming back up and finding each other in space, the math on that was... They were failing at it, and Buzz actually stepped in and helped them out. So he was like super smart. So
I think if you're an astronaut, you're pretty smart.
he was even smarter than that. You know, good point. But Buzz was like really super smart. He helped. Am I boring you? Sometimes I do that. Okay. So he. I'm known to do that. I go off on what I think is interesting, and then never mind. So the first moonwalk was really successful because Ed White got out of the capsule and just floated around smiling. Yay! Right. And everyone was like, the first extravehicular EVA was successful because he didn't have to do anything. Then the next one was getting someone to go to the outside of this craft and do a simple thing, which was just tighten a bolt. Right. And they quickly found that as soon as you put torque going this way,
then you
the whole
go the other
astronaut
way,
goes the other way. And they were just like, whoa, my God, and what is the point of going to the moon if you never get out of the LEM? Yeah. So you got to figure all that stuff out, and they were failing. And Buzz just goes, oh, man, guys, I'm a deep sea diver. What we got to do is we got to make a big pool of water, and then we got to put our astronauts in there, and then just weight them so we get neutral buoyancy so that people don't rise or fall. And that on Earth is going to be about as close as you can get to zero gravity. They still use that now to this day to train astronauts, and he came up with that. So there's like multiple ways that Buzz, anyway, super smart.
But did we actually land on the moon?
We so landed on the moon.
And anyone who asked that of Buzz got punched out.
Oh my God! Yes. This is the proof. This is the proof. This is very easy. In order to get an image of the Earth as one circle, you have to be 2/3 of the way to the moon.
Right.
Until that point, it's a big arc.
No, I believe it.
window.
I just wanted to.
Now I'm off. I'm going.
I just wanted to
doing
poke
this.
a little bit.
Wanted to push
I
the
just
button.
wanted
And if you look at the images from the 60s, they are the only way that you could make that image falsely would be using computers that they didn't have at that point.
Right.
They only had matte painting would be the only other way they would do it, and it just wouldn't sell. We went to the moon. We went to the moon.
It would look like a trip to the moon, like cheese. Yeah.
And so, also, it really wasn't that hard. It was just very dangerous. I mean, but technically, it wasn't that hard. It was just that they thought that they had a 50-50 chance to live when they went. Then they were told that. You may not be coming home. So anyway, to answer your question, I'm proud of it because
Would you live on Elysium?
What?
Would you live on Elysium?
Is that like the
movie,
Matt Damon Elysium?
That's Interstellar, isn't that?
No, that's the movie Elysium.
Elysium. It is?
Yeah.
Well, was Jodie Foster in it?
No.
Where she was in charge? Which
Yeah,
one?
Elysium.
was.
Elysium.
Yes,
Jodie Foster was
she
in
was
Elysium.
in charge of the other
Yeah,
planet,
yeah.
right? Is that what we're facing now? Where we may have to like abandon Earth and go live in this other planet?
All the douchebags
all
in
the
Elysium.
elitists.
Oh my God!
Like,
I'd rather be on
there'd be
Earth.
12.
I would rather be on Earth.
And eat the grubs.
And yes,
So here, I have a question.
Hang
I have
out
a
with
question.
Matt Damon,
I have
man.
a question. Okay, say the apocalypse comes, right? Or there's a big, like, violent, like somebody pushes the button, right? And it's nuclear warfare. Are you a survivalist, or you're like, just kill me now? I have no desire to participate in the zombie apocalypse.
Kill.
Go.
You want me to answer that question?
Go.
You're totally depressing me, Charisma. This is not what I expected at GalaxyCon. Well, if the world is destroyed,
We deal with science fiction. This
I-
is a legitimate question that we watch and sink ourselves into to escape. Like, just curious if you were a part of the.
well,
the
it's
zombie
funny because my
apocalypse.
next show is a show called Deathlands, based on a series of books, which is post-apocalyptic, and I actually believe in hope. So I would never, giving up is never the answer.
Go.
Death.
You.
Radioactive fallout.
I
Ash in the air. Unable to make crops, so starvation.
But there's still grubs.
But there's to be a lot of hope to eat.
oh my.
You.
I like to think that I would do okay in the survival mode. I like to think that. But I live close to a big city, so I probably won't have a chance to.
This is the podcaster in her. This is a special episode
you
of.
choose.
Oh, I'm a survivalist.
Okay.
Look out,
then
motherfucker.
Would you feed me? Would you feed me?
Easy.
I don't
hang out with
know.
you.
I mean,
No,
what could you
probably
do
not.
for the clan, for
I-
the group?
I play
like we all
guitar.
gotta earn our pay. We gotta earn our keep.
To answer your question, when Mr. Aldrin saw Moonshot, he said, that looks like the mission.
Oh, that's
And
great.
so we did
That's
it.
awesome.
That's
Thank
the
you.
highest compliment you can get. Yeah. And then when you were working Sylvester Stallone on Expendables, no, wait, not the same thing. But so obviously, I want to talk about.
Nice pivot.
I do want to talk about. I want to talk about Buffy.
Yeah,
but
let's go.
before I get to Buffy,
Oh.
this is something we can only talk about today. Since you've already thoroughly depressed us, I don't know if you heard Diane Keaton died today. What's your favorite Diane Keaton? I know it's terrible news.
We're not coming back from that, man.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't coming back from
Hear
Survivalists.
that? We just killed the house. Whoa.
What's your favorite Diane Keaton movie?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious.
No, I almost didn't want to do the panel. I was so depressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's really sad.
Like unexpected?
I think so. I mean, 79 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have the details yet. Okay, let's pretend I didn't say that.
On the
Good
Buffy.
job, Mark.
Mark, you're going to get us canned.
I know, apparently. Just like the other Mark. Okay, while we're processing that. So one of the things I think that's so interesting,
Oh, Annie
James,
Hall, The Godfather.
Manhattan.
All of her Manhattan. I mean, all of her movies with Jack Nicholson. Oh my God! Oh my God! And just what an incredible, like her style, her sense of style. Just, I loved watching her Instagram account. Just watching her talk about all the things she was going to give away, and I was like, where? And just, where are you taking this shit? Geez, she was such a light. She was so fucking smart and gifted and deep and. Oh wow, this is fucked up.
And an interesting director, too. I mean, she did episodes of Twin Peaks. She did a wonderful little movie.
Yep, and she was always herself. She didn't lie. She didn't try to be someone that she wasn't. She was authentic, which is not easy to do.
That's a great point. She was always her authentic self, and that was what I think we loved her and why it hit so hard. Because you hear about people maybe you never met that, but somebody like Diane Keaton, I think it meant so much to all of us for so many different reasons.
I did not see that coming at all. Like,
Well, why would you?
No, I mean, I just think, you hear about people being ill or not doing well, or like, like 79, I'm 55, that doesn't seem old to me. That's just it's surprising. Like, tomorrow's not promised. We got to live our life. Like, you guys are doing it, right? I feel like being here today, you're living your life, you're doing the things that interest you and that you love, and, every minute counts, and thank you for sharing these moments with us. Wow, this is intense. Whoa.
That's funny. You mentioned the Godfather, and I hadn't even thought of the Godfather because I just think of the character because she embodied the character so much that I didn't, obviously we know she's in it, but it didn't even occur to me. Amazing.
I don't want to
amazing
spoil this, but we have 6 minutes to talk about
Okay,
Buffy.
so let's talk about Buffy. So, James.
You guys did want to talk about
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
James.
good. Okay, cool.
One of the things I think so interesting is you were cast, kind of for a very limited arc. And in fact, when you went in for the audition, you sort of had to be pushed into going until you discovered how fascinating the show is. Tell us about how you turned this sort of brief arc into an amazing run. I mean, not only did you make it through to the finale, but then they can't even kill you off. You come back for Angel. So, I mean, it's really remarkable that you acted your way onto that show and stayed on that show for the duration.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes writers don't really know what they're
Doing?
actually wanting to say. No, it's weird. Like, I used to help writers write when I had a theater company, and a lot of my job when I was developing with them was really honing in on what they were trying to say, because a lot of times there's a deeper voice in the conscious mind that is at work when you're writing. And I was told that Spike was a heartless, soulless demon who didn't care or love for anything, that they didn't want to do that Anne Rice stuff, that in Buffy, the vampires were just metaphors for the challenges that you have to overcome in your adolescence. They were designed to be overcome. They were designed to be killed off. So I was told, you love nothing. And I was like, you got it, you're paying the bills. And they turned around and I was like, F that. I am not doing that. Because they told me you're going to have between 5 and 10 episodes. I said, if I play it that way, it's going to be 5. But I have to find the love, because that's where you connect with the audience. And it doesn't have to be puppy dog love. It can be love denied, love's betrayed, but love has got to be in there if you want to connect with people. And I looked at the script, and it was obvious. The love is for Drusilla. It's just pouring out of the script. So I was like, I'm not sure if these people know what they want. I mean, like, they're writing me in desperate love with this character, so I'm just going to lean into that. But the truth is that whether it was going to be 5 episodes or 10 episodes, I was supposed to, let's see, like, season 2, the whole point of season 2 is Buffy and Angel sleep together. Angel goes evil, takes up with Drusilla as his new girlfriend, kills me off so that Buffy can have her heart broken. That's the whole thing. So they only built me up to be such a cool character and such the big bad like they did, so that when Angel killed me, he would be the big bad. But then they didn't kill me. And I'm just up on the mountaintop of cool. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it, Damn, yeah.
And for you, Charisma, it's interesting because it was early in your career, and you played what could have been a very one-dimensional character initially, and then you found all these levels and made her such a beloved character and took her in such interesting directions. When you did, was it just that you get a call from your agent, you went and auditioned, or what was the road to Buffy for you?
I was on a TV show called Malibu Shores for NBC. I already had a job, and Buffy took me in second position, meaning I was a series regular, but I was in an all shows produced the first season because the other show had me in first right of refusal. So it was a great position to be in, to have 2 jobs at once. It was very rare. But then when that show didn't go the distance, I went back to be on Buffy full time. And I love the question because it's like, for you, it sounds like you were very premeditated and you were driving the direction of your character. And I don't feel like that was the case with me. I also was very new to that world. Like, this was my third job and my second series, or technically like series A, series B at the same time. I was like doing both at the same time. And it was all a whole new world. So to pretend as if I had any idea what I was doing, I just think the truth of the matter was I was playing her honestly. Like, I just feel that I really believed in what I was saying 100%, and whether what she was saying was villainous or honest, or like she was saying to Buffy in the hallway, like, it's better than being alone all by yourself. I just played it honest. And what's interesting is I had Nell Scoville. I don't know if you know who she is. She was a showrunner. I feel like I'm ignoring you. Hi.
That's right.
She was a showrunner, writer, author, all these things. And she came, anyway, she was on my podcast and she told me what she wanted me to answer. And one of the things was, how were you able to play a lovable bitch? How did you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have some premeditated plan. I just authentically played a character that I feel really believed it. Like, I just believed what she said. Like, that's just her truth.
Can I suggest or just ask, because a lot of times on a TV schedule, you don't have time to prep like you would on a play or you would have time on a movie. So you have to find within yourself these qualities that you're playing, because ultimately it's why we see so many people on screen who, there's such a perfect marriage between the character and the role that they're playing. Were you finding these qualities in yourself that sort of worked against just being a bitch, a character, but all these levels, because that was who you were at the time and are?
It was not who I was at all. I was actually really shy and very people-pleasy, hard to believe. But yeah, I'm not the person from 1995, thankfully, at all. I did my homework, don't get it twisted. Like, I was a dedicated person to memorization and acting, coaching lessons on every script. I broke it down. I knew what I was doing with what was there, but I didn't have some like mastermind end game. I wasn't in the office pitching ideas for my character with the producers. That was not, I just did my job, what was being provided. And it turns out, I guess I did it well. Like, they told me I was funny. I didn't know I was funny. Like, I genuinely did not know I was funny, and then they're the ones who told me I was funny. So I was like, oh, I've never been told. Like, I'm just playing her real. Like, honestly, just doing that. So whatever it was, it worked. But there was no preconceived idea, or like, I didn't have that experience that you had. Like, no, I'm not going to play it like that. I'm going to play it like this. Like, no, I didn't do that.
I wasn't on another show, so I needed the money. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
I don't know. Like, we've talked about this. You've even said, like, I thought you were Cordelia.
Yeah, you fooled me. All good actors do. That's why we never.
It's funny because I never
Yeah.
thought you are Spike.
The accent.
I knew you were acting. I don't know, it's just.
Well, I was
never had a
acting. I
preconceived
was
idea.
really, especially in season 2, I was acting like to the rafters. So yeah, it wasn't a subtle
'cause
performance.
theater,
yet.
right?
Yeah,
It's a different
exactly.
medium
I got
altogether.
away with it because I was a vampire, but there was a lot of overacting in season 2.
Ooh, I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to watch it and say, so, timestamp, 12 minutes, 49 seconds, Spike enters. Let me tell you. What was he doing with that choice? What's with the theatrics?
Less is more. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the transition to Angel. For you, what was your feeling when they told you, we're spinning off the show, we're taking off the
Terror.
mothership, and we're going to put you on this other show?
Terror, because, by that time, I did have a house. I did have a mortgage. There was things that cost, right? And the first thing I said was, well, if it's canceled or it doesn't go, do I have a safety net? Can I come back to Buffy? And he said, yes. So I was like, great, let's go. When do we start?
And-
more to do. Great. great.
Was it a surprise for you when, because you had, spoiler alert, died already, but they brought you back to, for the last season. And if, you read the TV guide description, Angel and the team, joining the evil law firm, Wolfram and Hart, doesn't exactly sound like a barn buster, and it turns out to be an amazing season of television. What was that like for you?
It wasn't that good.
Well, it was missing some things that were necessary ingredients to the soup.
Yeah, I found out that I was going to be on Angel before they killed me off on Buffy. And I just didn't want to stop playing Spike. I was like,
Yeah.
you're going to let me... Cause
It's a great character.
Yeah, I mean...
Fuck, it was great.
They were trying to talk Sarah into doing, season 8 and season 9. They were throwing the Taj Mahal of cash at her. And she's like, they worked that poor woman 20 hours a day, and she never flagged. She always had a good attitude. She always knew her lines. She was amazing. I fully believe that if anyone but Sarah had played that role, like if I'd have played that role, we would have gone 4 seasons, and I would have had a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
But it was Sarah. And she was awesome, but they were throwing all this money at her, and she's like, baby, I am marrying Freddie Prinze Jr., and we are being happily ever after now. I deserve happiness, thank you. Goodbye. And we're, you deserve it, baby.
Last question, because we got to wrap up. And the good news is they're going to be at their booths, so you'll be able to ask them questions, get their autographs, find out about James's musical performance tonight. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities to talk to them at their booth. Last question is obviously the pilot's just been filmed of the reboot. If it gets picked up to series, is that something you would want to, if you had the opportunity to return to this world, is it something that appeals to you at this point for both of you?
I mean, I think we both would 100%. I mean, I don't want Cordelia to die. I loved playing Cordelia. She was the role of a lifetime.
Yeah. Can I just say something? Because
Of course.
are they going to kick me off?
No, nobody's going to kick you off.
Okay. I'm going to say this band name, and I'm sorry for the children. Okay. Best band in the world is called Pussy Riot. They are the most kick-butt band in the world. They make the Sex Pistols look like posers, right? They're a punk rock feminist band out of Russia, right? And they were singing about how Vladimir Putin was a jerk and he was ruining the country. And Vladimir told them, "You stupid women, shut your mouth or I put you in prison." And they were like, "Screw you, Vlad!" And they kept singing, put him in prison. In prison, they were told, "If you recant everything you ever said about our dear leader, we'll let you out of prison. Otherwise, you stay in prison." They're like, "Screw you, they were not recanting anything." They stayed in prison for quite a long time, finally got out, escaped to Western Europe at a time where...
What does this have to do with the reboot?
I'll get there.
Or Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It'll be worth it. This is worth it. So this was at a time when Russians were being assassinated in the streets of Germany and France and England for speaking out against Vladimir Putin.
And falling out windows. Yeah.
Right. And the message was, if you were born in Russia and you take
right
after
here at home.
Vladimir Putin, we'll get you wherever you are. And the message was shut up, and they were like, "Screw you, we're singing." And they just kept at it and kept at it. So this band came over to America, and being punk rockers, they were in Manhattan. They spent the morning going, wake up," to everybody, which was wonderful. But then they were doing an interview, and they were asked, "Why did you come?" They're like, "Oh, we have a message for you. Seeing what happened to our country and seeing what's happening here now, we do have a few words. What are they? Don't give up." And I heard this, and I was like, that's the theme of Buffy. I checked with Joss. I was like, "Joss, I can give you the theme of Buffy in 3 words." "No, you can't." "Yeah, I can. Don't give up." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, actually, that's it." Yeah, that's the theme that was borrowed from Hamlet. It's hard to be a human being. The world is imperfect. It hurts to be here, but don't give up on it, and don't give up on yourself. Find something to fight for. What you want to fight for is your own choice, but find that thing and fight for it, and don't give up. And
Meanwhile,
take arms against the sea of troubles by opposing end them. Or, as I see on buttons in the cons, what would Buffy do? It's that same thing. And so if those are the 3 words that band thinks is the most important thing for people to hear right now, I'm just like, get me on the reboot. If I can do anything to help that message continue to a new generation, to more people,
great.
I'm down, man. Yeah.
Well,
But if
unfortunately,
the apocalypse comes,
then you give up.
Then
We only have so much time to talk.
grubs.
I got to give up on this panel, unfortunately, because we're out of time. But here's the thing. At GalaxyCon, they do this thing. It's called a group selfie. So Charisma and James stand at the front stage. If you all come up and take
Everybody
a picture
come
with
on
them.
up as far as you can to the front of the
You
stage.
can all
Don't
be
come
in a
up on the
giant
stage,
photo
but-
together.